Now in my hand are the keys to this. The latest from Audi. Another month, another Audi. This one is the A5 Sportback. It's my job to tell you about it, but all I want to do, truthfully, is be behind the cockpit, be behind that steering wheel and be out there on the road driving it because, well, just look at it. It looks amazing, doesn't it? It's such a cool looking car. Quattro, four-wheel drive, those great big wheels, that paint job, that big grille at the front. What a great looking motor. This is the S-Line one as well. It's got the bigger wheels, tinted rear glass, and this is called a Sportback. So what makes a Sportback different than a standard Audi? Well, let me show you. So let's go down the back and I'll educate you. So down the back, what makes it a Sportback is this sloping rear roofline. See, the old Audi A5 used to have a boot. It's now gone, it's done away with, and now it's got a hatchback at the rear, makes it look more like the Audi A7. Very purposeful down the rear. Plus this is a car you can talk to. You can just say, Audi, open. And away she goes. How cool is that? Yeah, not really. That's me just pressing the button on the remote control. If you press it and hold it, it opens up the boot automatically for you. Inside, huge, great big cavernous boot with cubby holes to put things. 60-40 split on the rear seat if you need it. Also, it's got 480 litres of space in the back of this. That's just for a boot, which is cavernous. And of course, once you've loaded it up with stuff, far too lazy to press this button, so I'll just reach up there and I'll press that one instead. Pretty cool, eh? In the back, obviously, it's locked, but it's got central locking. Oh, look how nice it is in here. Isofix mounting points at the back in case you need to put the kids in. It's got climate control in the rear. It's very well appointed, nice bit of space in here as well. And this leather, this is quality. This isn't cheap stuff. This is really, really nice. Let's have a look up front. Well, inside up front, I just don't know where to start. It's beautiful, isn't it? Being that this is the new car, it's got those lovely little LED accents all inside the cockpit, whether it's the cup holders, on the door cards, down the side of the frames, on the console. It really is nice. It's got Alcantara in the doors, electric everything, obviously electric driver's seat as well. You've got this nice bit of lumbar support that I do enjoy. Those beautiful S-Line seats, double stitched leather. Well, the list goes on. It really is a sumptuous looking car and one of real quality. I'm very excited about getting this one out on the road, so let's drive it. Right, here we are on this gloomy day. I'm just about to put my foot down in this A5 Sportback. I've got 2 litres of turbo diesel fuel injected Audi horsepower up front. This car will return around 63 miles to the gallon. For a big car, that's mighty impressive, but it doesn't compromise on performance because this car will go from 0 to 60 in a shade under 8 seconds, around 7.9 seconds, and it tops out at 146 miles an hour. And because it's got oodles and oodles of torque in the mid-range, being it's a diesel, this one, through this wonderful 7-speed gearbox, when you do put your foot down, it just puts you in the back of your chair and away you go. And it really does feel incredible. I do like this car and I like it a lot. I think that's evident on my face because it rides so well. It soaks up the ruts, the bumps, all of those kind of things. I'm meant to say to you that it's comparable to the BMW 4 Series Grand Tourer, to the Mercedes C-Class, even the Audi A4, but the truth is I can't compare it to those. I think this is a better car. Although they're great cars, I just think this is a greater car, and I absolutely love it. I love the driving position. I can get low inside the cockpit, how I like to drive, pull the steering wheel out towards my chest. I feel very safe and secure. It feels very sporty. Holding on to this beautiful multi-function steering wheel, it's very chunky, it feels lovely in the hand, it really does, and it's got everything I need within reach, so I can control the whole car off this steering wheel. Being that this is the auto, I've got the paddles, behind the steering wheel. If I wanted to use those, I can. This one's got cruise control, and it's very, very nice. Seat, well, I've got this really soft, almost kid leather electric seat, goes in infinite positions. It's got lumbar support as well, electric on both sides in the cockpit, bit of Alcantara on the doors. You can see that this car is just luxuriously appointed. It's a very premium car. It feels incredible to be behind the wheel, and actually it's a bit of a treat to be driving it. It really is. Also up on the dashboard, we got this 7-inch infotainment system. Now, the infotainment system in this car is exceptional. Not only does it do what you expect it to do, your telephone, your Bluetooth connectivity, it does sat nav. It also lets you play with the car settings, so you can turn this car from a cruiser into a sports car by just fiddling with the way it sits on the road, and you can sharpen up the steering, the throttle response. You can do all of those things, which is rather cool. But it's just the way that this car drives. Just drives so nicely. Yes, it does feel a tiny bit claustrophobic inside, but I don't mind that. It's a big car, and I just don't mind that feel. I feel cosseted in this car, and I feel like I can do a monumental journey in it, knowing that when I get out the other end, I'm going to feel really nice and comfortable. It's not tiring. It's easy to use. It's got that beautiful Audi quality that we've all come very familiar with, and we expect now from the German manufacturers. Mercedes and BMWs, they have this beautiful quality they put into their cars, and this one is no exception. Now, I think it's clear to see on that camera that outside it's a gloomy, wet, dank day up here in Sheffield, and when it's gloomy and wet and you've got a lot of road noise from water on the road, it's noisy. You know, driving a car in the wet is noisy. And just to show you the refinement of this car, I'm just going to shut up and listen. That's it. That's me doing 50 miles an hour on a 60 mile an hour country road, and this car is just whisper quiet. It is very, very refined, very nice. It does mean that when you do connect your stereo or your telephone, you can hear everything really clearly. It's got a premium sound system in this vehicle, so it just feels nice. It really does just feel nice. And as I'm going along, I'm trying to go, come on, Mike, there must be something you don't like. Must be one thing. Even when I come to park the car, and I did earlier, it's got sensors front and rear, because, you know, this is a big car, it's long, and judging the four corners could be quite difficult, but it brings you up a little map of the car up on the screen, and it's got a little radar that goes around it. So even parking the car was a doddle. So I can't find one. If it had an espresso machine, there you go. Why, Audi, haven't you put an espresso machine in it? Then it's the ultimate car. But as it is at the moment, I'd be quite happy to have this A5 Sportback in my life forever. We've actually had sheep leaving the field to come and see this Audi, and even though it's a cold, nasty day, you couldn't dampen my enthusiasm for just how nice that car actually is on the road. What a drive that car is. I absolutely loved it. So if you're interested in an A5 Sportback, make sure that you have a look for our stock list, because we're bound to have one that will suit you. Don't forget, finance is available. We have the RAC 82-point buy sure check on all our vehicles. We take in part exchange. We give you the manufacturer's warranty, what's left on the car. If there's none left, we'll give you 3 months RAC. We'll give you 12 months mechanical breakdown cover. And if you want to know more, then check out my website, brewermotors.com. But for now, I'm going to go and sit back in the warmth of that car where it's nice and comfortable. Ta-da! Look at that. Even he's come to see the Audi. Look, man, haven't you? You come to see the Audi, eh? Don't you dare look at me with those horns.